Good Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Rena Sargentopoulos. Let's get right to your headlines. We are following some breaking traffic news right now. Take a look at this. What a mess happening on I-35 after a deadly crash between Arden Hills and Shoreview. State Patrol says one person died here and at least one passenger car and one commercial vehicle are involved. Traffic so backed up that emergency crews were having people drive the wrong way on the interstate just to get off of it. We do have a crew on the scene of the crash. When we learn anything new, you will be the first to know. New video today showing the damage caused by storms in southern Minnesota. Sky 11 capturing some barns and buildings outside of Faribault leveled by the high winds. Right now, a crew from the National Weather Service is on the ground to determine if a tornado touched down. Incredibly, no one was injured in this destruction. The wind is only part of the story, though. Take a look at this video sent to us from Owatonna showing a lot of quarter-sized hail falling last night. In Bryceland, we got pictures of ping-pong-sized hail that came crashing down, and in Clearwater, just south of St. Cloud, some hail reports were ping pong ball size and larger there as well. Now, during severe weather season, safety is always top of mind. The next concern, of course, is damage to your home or your car. We talked constantly about insurance rates on both of those things going up. Kent Erdahl is taking a look at one of the causes for the damage and how often it happens.
To understand hail and high wind trends in Minnesota right now, it matters if you're counting dollars or tracking actual storms.
The overall trend is we're not seeing more hail, storms, and tornadoes and such in Minnesota. They are very episodic, though.
Assistant State Climatologist Pete Boulay points to this graphic, which breaks down both high wind events in light blue and damaging hail in dark blue, dating back to 2007. After a spike in both events in 2022, he says high winds have fallen back to normal and says it's still too early to tell what the hail is going to do next.
The last couple of years have been very busy damaging hail. It's about 1.5 inches. That's what really causes the damage to cars and roofs. Really, timing is everything with storms.
And that's where the dollar figures come in. If you own a home or even a car, he says there's no denying that insurance rates are up. But he says the jump in billion-dollar storms isn't just about the weather.
As we get more targets, when the hail comes, we're going to hit the targets. And also, we have a large target here in the Twin Cities, so if the hail falls in the right place, that's where you get all the damage.
So it's not necessarily that we've had more storms, it's just maybe we're spread out more?
Yeah, where they happen matters a lot. And you think of how the Twin Cities has changed over the last 50 years or so. There's homes now where there was farm fields before. So hail falls on a farm field, you might damage the crop. Hail falls on a bunch of houses, now you got roofs to replace.
And if you're counting tornadoes, he says the numbers are even more sporadic. While it looks like there is a growing trend line since 1950, especially with that climb between the mid-1990s to the mid-2000s, he says consider technology.
We have something in our pocket now we didn't have in the 1980s, a smartphone with a camera on it. So now we catch a lot more weather events than we used to. Tornadoes, hailstorms, any kind of damage. We know it instantaneous now, and that we didn't have in the old days.
New this afternoon, no charges will be filed for the on-ice death of hockey star Adam Johnson. According to the Crown Prosecution Services in England, investigators determined that there is no way to get a conviction for his death after another player's skate cut his neck during a game back in 2023. Johnson, a Hibbing native, was playing for England's elite hockey league when the incident happened. His team initially called the death a, quote, freak accident. After his death, Adam's family set up a memorial in his name. It has helped send kids to hockey camp and will include a scholarship for a student at the University of Minnesota, Duluth. A look from the White House today as the President Trump marking a political milestone. Today is Trump's 100th day in office, and the administration is eager to tout accomplishments, especially on border security. But new polling shows a majority of Americans are not pleased with the handling of the economy and President Trump's tariffs in particular. NBC's Shaquille Brewster has more from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Well, later today, we'll see President Trump visiting the state of Michigan. It's a state that he, of course, flipped back in 2024. And I've been talking to some of his biggest supporters here in the state, and they've been telling me that when they look at his policies on immigration, there is a lot of enthusiasm there. They say this is something that they voted for. These are policies that they're proud of, even if some of them say they feel empathy towards some of those people who are being deported. when you look at this big picture and you look at the polling, tariffs is an issue where President Trump perhaps has that largest risk there. You see some of his highest disapproval ratings. When I'm talking to his supporters, they say, while there may be some concern about what you're seeing in the markets or the looming price increases, they stand by the overall goal that you hear from President Trump of bringing back manufacturing to the United States, and say that this is something that he promised all along on the campaign trail. I think bottom line, many of his top supporters are giving him the benefit of the doubt, saying that you can't make a full judgment in just the first 100 days. They want to wait a little bit longer to see if there's any change there. But for now, their support is ironclad. Back to you.
Today, President Trump is expected to announce a new deal with automakers ahead of new tariffs set to begin on Saturday. According to a White House official, tariffs on imported vehicles and auto parts will stay in place. However, they will not be stacked on top of the additional tariffs on the metals used to make them. Also, the automakers will be reimbursed for the cost of some tariffs on imported parts. Both Ford and General Motors say they do support the latest decision. New today, Minnesota Representative Angie Craig is after a promotion. In her announcement, Craig vowed to fight back against what she called chaos in Washington. She launched her bid for U.S. Senate this morning, looking to succeed retiring Senator Tina Smith.
It's time to fight back. We've got to break through the chaos and take them head on. I know what it's like to be knocked down and counted out, to be the underdog.
She joins a stacked Democratic primary, including Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan and former state Senate leader Melissa Lopez Franzen. Republicans running include Royce White and Adam Schwarze. Craig's Senate run leaves her House seat open, which then sets up a political battle in Minnesota next year. Big changes are coming for high school students across the state. Starting this Thursday, AP exams will move online. The pivot comes as students get ready to take ACT and SAT tests that many colleges and universities are once again requiring. Gordon Severson taking a look at all those changes.
And advanced placement exams are going digital.
In just a few days, thousands of high school students will finish the school year with AP exams. The College Board has announced 28 of the 36 AP exams will now be taken by computer.
Some students are really going to like that format. They're very comfortable.
Ron Mahalik from Flying Colors Prep says that's not the only test that is switching over to digital. Students can now take the ACT by paper or by computer. But Mahalik says right now, only 2 high schools in Minnesota offer the digital version, and it's very hard to get a spot.
We work with quite a few students, quite a few families, and I think one family got into one of those sites.
Mahalik says the ACT is also shorter with fewer questions, and the science section is now optional. This comes as many universities across the country are questioning their decision to become test-optional schools. Several have changed their mind and are now requiring students to submit a test score for admission.
Most of the Ivies, not all of them, have gone back to requiring tests.
Several other universities have also made the switch. But either way, if it's paper or digital, Mahalik says students should prepare the same way. Take a few sample tests so you know what to expect, and then the night before you go in, try to relax.
You don't want to add a lot of stress. You want to get to bed early. You want to rise at a good time to afford yourself an opportunity to get some breakfast.
Gordon Severson, KARE 11 News.
New today, a new report showing the staggering number of people living with Alzheimer's disease. More than 7 million Americans, including nearly 102,000 people right here in Minnesota. The Alzheimer's Association's 2025 Facts and Figures report, released just after midnight, also reveals the cost of caring for people living with Alzheimer's and other dementias has gone up $384 billion this year alone. But amid these challenges, people did report they want to know if they have Alzheimer's disease earlier rather than later to take advantage of 2 FDA-approved medications that are now on the market.
It gives people more time with their family members, their friends, and making really important memories for the people that they care about.
There's a part of me that I feel like I am so lucky, because if this had happened 2 years earlier, there would have been nothing for me, and my Alzheimer's probably would have progressed a lot further than it has.
Tim Sandry started taking one of the new medications after he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2023. As you just heard, he does believe it is helping. To learn more about the report, just go to KARE11.com. Stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.